Hey, thanks for joining The Broken Dead today. We are talking The Walking Dead, Season 10, Episode 3. And we've got some news, teasers, and speculation about what's to come for you. This is The Broken Dead. Hey guys, this is Dylan.
And I'm Lydia.
This is Quin.
And we just want to say thanks for joining us today. Whether or not you're new to the show or if you're returning, we're glad to have you along for the ride, and we hope that you'll join us live on YouTube every Sunday night at 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. Please like and subscribe and hit the bell icon.
Ding.
So that way you know when we drop a new video. Podcast listeners, please leave us 5 stars in your podcast app or check us out at the website. Actually, and check us out at the website at www.broken.pictures.com.
All right, and don't forget to check out the FOMO Show, where we discuss the top 3 in pop culture every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time right here on YouTube. That's our other show, by the way, in case you missed that point.
Yeah. And just so you know, we are about to get into some spoiler territory. I mean, if you haven't watched the episode, shame on you, maybe? But this is your only warning. This is the spoiler alert for Episode 3 of The Walking Dead.
Both. Yeah, we are spoiling The Broken Dead, too, because we're going to talk about it.
I don't know about y'all. I'm spoiled.
So is there any news to cover this week? Any newsworthy things?
I'm kind of hitting the Skybound site real quick. If you don't know, Skybound is it's Robert Kirkman, the creator of the comic. That's his company. So I'm kind of seeing if there's anything on here, and I'm not really seeing anything. And just we've been out of town all weekend, so that's why we're a little bit late. We're literally like running. I was coming back from my brother's house to visit with my mom and them and get Ghost, our dog, back because they dog sat for us over the weekend. He was a punk, but he did all right.
That's good.
Better than last time, maybe. I don't know. Anyways, moving on. So the only thing that I've really seen, I haven't had it. We literally stayed somewhere there was no service at all, so we couldn't really do a whole lot of research or anything on downtime, which was nice, to be honest. It was pretty nice to get away from everything. But the only thing I'm really seeing is that now on AMC Premiere, they've got extended episodes, and it seems like they don't actually release that until the episode itself airs on AMC, maybe? Because we watched like the regular episode. What time did you watch it?
This morning. I watched the extended episode this morning.
Really?
Yeah.
How did I miss that?
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it might just like release that Sunday morning. So maybe.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't seen it before, and the other times I've watched it were like Friday and Saturday. So this is the first time I watched it on a Sunday.
Yeah, so maybe that's it.
Yeah.
But it seems to be a new thing for episode 3. I don't remember seeing that at all for the other 2.
Same.
So there's something there. If you guys watch it on Premiere and you watch it 48 hours early, you can watch extended episodes now.
Don't know what the extra was.
The only thing I kind of played it in the car while I was just listening to it as I was driving over here. No, I wasn't watching it. I was watching the road. But the only thing that seemed to be different up until I got to where the confrontation with Alpha. The only thing that I heard that was different was Gabriel asking Rosita to stay at the house.
Oh, really? That's silly.
So we've gone from Carl stay at the house to Judith stay at the house, Henry stay at the house, or no, Henry stay at the house. Then was it Judith stay at the house? Now it's Rosita stay at the house.
Rosita stay at the house.
Yeah.
Please.
Rosita.
Oh.
So, but yeah, that's the only news I'm seeing right now. Of course, there might be more. I'm sure there's more. I just haven't had time to get into it. So, if you see anything that's newsworthy, let us know. Hit us up in the comments below. Send us a tweet or whatever.
All of the above.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I guess we can go ahead and get on into this episode.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna rate it
Oh yeah, that's right. We can rate the episode first. I forgot.
Yeah. I'm going to rate it 8 bloody crowbars out of 10. Just because for one, I really like Negan in this episode. And I felt like it showed a bit more of the weight everybody else is feeling when it comes to the whispers, and like knowing that they're actually back. Because Michonne, like the second is like when it was horde after horde after horde coming, she's like, all right. She, I guess, knows that we crossed the borders and this is her, and like everybody thought it was just Alpha, and Negan said it best. Can I cuss? Do we cuss on here?
Well, if they said it on the show, we can say it on here. It's whatever the show is rated.
Okay.
That's what this is rated.
Everybody got their shit and pants on. Yeah. So, all right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to rate the episode 8 ghosts out of 10 because the episode was called Ghost.
Yeah.
And I feel like we saw a lot of ghosts this episode. Would definitely say it was going to be one of the better episodes throughout the season, I think. It was really full of substance. Blah. And then I had another comment about it that I forgot. So naturally, that's
We'll get into
fine.
discussion here in a little bit. So
Yeah, I'll
maybe
probably
come back
remember it
around.
in.
I'm going to give it 9 fleas on a farm dog.
Please, farm dog.
So, yeah, I thought it was a really good episode. I'm thoroughly enjoying the character development that is happening, and that it's happening widespread and not just in a select couple
Yeah.
of characters. So, yeah, I like what she's doing. I like how,
She who?
I'm sorry, the showrunner. Is the cat scratching something
Two-Face
over
Quin.
here?
Yeah.
Where's she scratching at?
The carpet.
Two-Face.
Two-Face.
Our cat is in here because she's missed us all weekend, so
No.
she's been really lovey-dovey.
And before you call animal control, she had a 2-pound thing of food and running water and a clean litter box, and we left the heater on for
Can't
her.
imagine what our water bill is going to look like.
Yeah, okay, so don't even worry about it. If anything, she probably gained another pound this
She
week.
is spoiled.
Oh, wow.
So I love how like so there's like psychological stories and then there's sociological stories. I like how they're balancing the psychological, especially this one, with what's happening as a group with the the communities and the ones that are at odds with each other. And it's not just one trick pony where you've got, okay, where they're doing this again. It feels different, even though, okay, we're going up against this again, you know.
Yes.
So it feels different, even though they've basically just changed out the characters, you know, with the Whispers, with Negan now, and Negan's on their side. But yeah, so I like what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's do this episode description, and then we'll get on to the discussion.
Nope, cussing. No, I'm just kidding.
Episode 3, Ghosts. The threat of the Whisper's return leads to paranoia sweeping across. Oh my gosh! All right, leads to paranoia sweeping over Alexandria. In the meantime, Carol battles with the need for revenge. Yeah, don't know why I was tripping over words.
There's a lot
Yeah.
of commas and semicolons in this description, so.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
I want to touch on that a little bit about Carol's battles with the need for revenge. I almost didn't catch that when she had the book in her hand and that she turned into
Oh.
the pancake lady, that all the kids were her kids with their throats slit.
Yeah.
Almost didn't catch it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Leaning into the horror element.
Yeah.
I was
That
looking
like
for
the psychological thing, because
Yeah.
they've dealt with, okay, so like Rick's seeing Laurie, you know, like losing his mind, and Carol's kind of seen stuff before, back when she was trying to leave or whatever, before she met with Ezekiel. And then and then what was it, Bob, that was the alcoholic?
Yep.
So they've dealt with substance abuse and like psychosis before, I guess. But this was really, and I meant to ask my sister-in-law is a nurse, and I meant to ask her. It's like, okay, what could she be taking? Because it doesn't look like no-dose or anything like that.
No.
It's in a prescription thing, and those were some fat
They were
pills, man.
huge. I don't know what she was taking.
Like horse pills.
I don't think adrenaline comes in a pill form, but I thought that may what it could have been, but I don't know what it was.
I mean, you think some apocalyptic ecstasy wouldn't look like that? I mean, what else could she? I mean, she's taken something to get something with caffeine in it.
Yeah.
She said it's coffee.
Yeah.
It's like,
But I mean, it's obviously more than coffee because you don't have to have a prescription for coffee.
no.
Well, I mean, you never know what it could be, but I don't think that whatever it is causing the hallucinations or anything. It's one, just her normal side of the brain that she's working with right now, plus lack of sleep.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like whatever pill she's on.
Yeah, I loved the whole fake wake up thing.
That
boy,
was
that was
trippy.
amazing.
That
I
was
love that.
trippy.
My dad was never a truck driver. I was like, oh no.
And then
Yeah,
it
that
rings
was like-
again, and
that
the
was
pills are in
chill-worthy.
her hand again, and you're just like,
Nope.
is
I'm
she
just
Bill
gonna.
Murray? Is she gonna wake up again? Am I gonna get it one more time?
That
Yeah.
second time, she's like, I'm not throwing this. I'm gonna take this.
She's
Yeah,
like,
well,
"But I
the alarm
might
went off
throw it
again,
to
so I
see
thought
if I
maybe
come
they were
in."
gonna wake her up again or whatever.
Yeah.
Or maybe it did.
It was really
The whole
trippy
thing
though.
is a dream.
Right, exactly. It's not Rick in a coma, it's Carol in a coma.
Bum bum bum.
I can't.
And Alpha's her other personality.
Alpha's
They're-
the nurse.
She is she's actually Sybil, and these are just her different personalities.
Yeah, Carol's like one of those crazy old people that thinks the nurse is out to get her,
Oh my gosh.
and that's why.
So this past weekend, my first day of work was yesterday.
Welcome back, I guess.
I guess I checked in a lady to the museum, and
He just had a baby. That's why he had some
Yeah.
actually paternity leave, which
Yeah.
was really cool.
It was 6 weeks off. I forgot I had a job. But I checked in a lady to the museum, and she talked just like Alpha.
Oh,
Really?
Like
no.
same cadence, same accent,
Where is she from?
everything. She was from Georgia.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was like, well, maybe it is accurate then.
Wow. See, I've never been to Georgia, so I can't speak for. I mean, I obviously like that's like the old Georgia, you know,
I
Georgia.
mean, I've been to Georgia several times. No, I haven't ran anybody that talked like that.
In the city, or
I was in the city though. That's the thing. So I bet if I went to like one of the rural part of Georgia's in a disguise, I would have ran to somebody that talked like that.
maybe.
Yeah.
So I want to touch on this just real quick. It looks like possibly she could be taking a prescription called modafinil. I'm definitely not saying that right. It says the time-shifting drug modafinil improves memory, enhances one's mood, alertness, and cognitive powers. The drug has a smoother feeling than amphetamines and enables the user to stay awake and alert for 40 hours or more.
Wow.
Oh.
Why would you need that?
I mean, if you're Carol and
Those
it's in the
dreams are
apocalypse.
bad.
yeah.
And I mean, it even kind of could be similar to the pill in the pictures.
Oh yeah, she was taking one of those horse pills.
Modafinil,
Yep.
Finil.
Yeah. So, I mean, there are prescription drugs out there
Yeah.
that help you stay awake. I don't know what doctor would write it. Definitely Dante, because he's a creepo.
Oh,
But
Dante kind of redeemed himself this
Just-
episode.
yeah.
the
I
felt
only
better
reason
about
they
him.
creeped him out was that this redemption story would actually mean something, because otherwise it would have fell flat, I felt like. But I want to keep talking about Carol for a second.
It totally makes sense though that he's a vet, like because
Yeah.
I've met some.
What do you understand about I want to keep talking about Carol?
Oh my bad.
We're going to get to that in a second.
Okay.
I'm trying to pay for so much stuff over here. Goodness gracious. If you double click the side button on the iPhone, it pulls up your credit card and tries to pay for
right.
stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
I really liked how at the end, because you're so confused about what's real and what's not real, that the whisperer was obviously in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they kind of connected that. Was that Gamma? It kind of
No,
seemed
I
like
don't
maybe it
think
was
it was.
Gamma.
No,
Well,
it
the
wasn't
way
Gamma.
Because
the
Gamma's
mouth
got these
was,
huge eye holes, you know.
The way the mouth was, there seemed like a dip in it, like maybe similar to Gamma's. Was just super confused.
Maybe they ran out of masks.
But I mean, like, how do you battle people in Walker outfits? You put a Walker in a Walker outfit.
Right, I know. That was super
Like that-
creepy. When it woke up, I was like, bruh,
Oh.
are
How
the
do you tell?
whispers going to think that it's a person
And
in
then
their
gonna take-
thing?
and
And
they're
it's
gonna
going to
get
take out the
bit.
whispers?
And that's their
Yeah.
war. That's how they're going to get the war
Because they
started.
think they did it, which Carol did. It's totally her fault.
Killed one of theirs.
Yeah, I think that this is a really big storyline that they're going to
Yeah.
follow.
Do y'all think Carol was... Y'all think Michonne should let Carol shoot Alpha?
Yeah, why not?
Um,
Why not?
I think it needs to be dealt with, but I don't think in that way, because I think that had she shot Alpha, those other Whisperers had guns and looked like automatic weapons.
Oh,
Okay.
that's true.
They had guns, but did they have guns? I mean, they had guns. They were shiny looking guns. But
I saw one pulled out like a revolver out of the holster, and then like from the teaser we saw one with like a rifle. It looked like an automatic weapon.
Yeah.
It wasn't a hunting rifle.
No, it
at
was
all.
like...
Yeah, it was a military grade weapon. So I mean,
Which just makes
I mean, what's Daryl got, a crossbow? Like,
Daryl has the same crossbow
him
he's
down.
had since forever.
But I mean, at this point, Carol is not. What's that dude from Lord of the Rings?
Gandalf.
Why would I be talking about Gandalf when I'm talking
Legolas?
about?
I don't know, because they
Yes,
both have
the
long white hair.
arrows. I'm talking about the bow and arrows.
Legolas.
You shall not pass this border.
That's more like Alpha. Shall not pass.
Still dislike
So, I
that
mean,
so much.
How long? Surely she's really good at it by now. How long would it have really just taken her to pull and
Not,
take out all those walkers? Whispers, I mean.
not too quick. I mean, especially if everybody hadn't put down their weapons and everything, they probably, if she had went ahead and did it, probably would have had a fighting chance.
I would have loved if Carol had actually had like a secret militia there, and they
would've
were
been cool.
all surrounded, and she just kills Alpha, and then all of the rest of them are dead.
That would have been really
But
cool.
what about Beta?
the her?
Kill her too. Him. Kill Gamma. Kill Beta.
But they don't know where they're at.
They don't.
They gonna come for him either way.
And they, I mean,
Go
they're-
back to
okay,
your house. What are they gonna do? They
So,
got one gun
They're worried about the
and
horde.
4 bullets.
They're worried about the horde. Like tens of thousands of walkers.
Which may not exist at the
I,
moment.
that's what I'm so confused. Why didn't Daryl say I was just down there and wasn't no walkers there?
Because she could have.
Because they just spent 48
Yeah.
hours fighting them off. And they
But
thought
I
that
mean,
was her.
Lydia said, and it makes sense. That's not Alpha.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the Whisperers.
Okay, speaking of, do you think Lydia's a spy? How did Alpha know about all 3 times? Surely there's not somebody that just tracking them the entire time. Or there's got to be a mole.
I think that there could be a mole,
There's-
but I don't think it's Lydia.
I think.
And how do you have a mole that doesn't like, oh man, this is pretty good living?
I mean, you got people who don't even live there who are saying that.
Yeah, I
You got
know,
people
right?
traveling with you.
I think there's a mole, but it's like one of the ones that was there when she beheaded everyone, and she's like, "I need you to go back, stay there, and just let me know."
Yeah.
Just like they had the moles in the fair.
yeah.
Yeah.
But those are like
'Cause
short term. That's different.
I
know.
don't feel like it's Lydia though, because Lydia. I mean, Alpha killed Henry.
Yeah,
Lydia
but
can't
she's
just act like
she
that
might
was
be
no big
feeling.
deal.
She's obviously feeling disconnected from everybody at
She
this point.
is. Because everybody
Everybody's
keeps treating her
accusing her.
like you are garbage and evil. Get out of here.
And even if you look at the teaser for the next episode,
when
she's
Lydia does this thing.
and they're telling her, oh, you need to get out of here, or whatever. And the silence whispers on her door, and she's like, I'm not just gonna sit down and take it. I'm gonna stand up and do something about it, or whatever.
Yeah.
She said something to that effect.
But
So,
I don't
I
know
mean-
if she's a mole. I feel like that's too obvious. That
Well, I mean, like right now, because they're obviously off of Lydia's comic book track. You got a crazy hair.
Yeah, it's the top of my finger.
So yeah, they're obviously off of Lydia's comic book track. So where do you think they're going, Quinn, based on what you read in the comic about her?
I honestly don't know, cause like she's just after the beheading and everything, like her and Carl are just kind of together. She goes back, she lives, and she's kind of fades into the background. She's just kind of a regular character that's just like a love interest of Carl's off and on.
Yeah, but right now
But
there's no Carl, there's no Henry,
there's no nothing.
there's no point for her to be there other than
No.
just a foil
I
to
think
blame
they're
stuff
connecting her story with Negan's.
on.
Oh snap! Well, that's one possibility. If they still go the route of we're gonna send Negan in there to kill them, and like somehow they find out that Alpha is like, I miss my daughter, and like they send Lydia and Negan to get him in there so he can do the job. I think that might be the only other thing she's here for is like their way back in, because I don't see
But everybody thinks Lydia's dead.
They do.
She told
Yeah,
everybody that
that's
she
true.
killed Lydia.
Yeah.
Beta's the only one that knows. So surely
But she would meet Lydia alone if Lydia did want to meet.
That's
And
true.
that's one way to get Alpha alone. And then
Oh,
give
yeah.
little pig, let me in.
Mm.
Back to the leans.
But I don't know. I feel like we're still not going to have answers to this until a couple episodes later.
Right.
Because if you saw the sneak peek for next week, it's definitely at Hilltop. And Hilltop's falling.
It seems like this is. I like what they're doing with the time elements that they like kind of set up in the first episode, and they're kind of like doing some of that here. What I thought was really effective to just show the time passing and then just the
Yeah.
heaviness of it and everything. But it seems like this is kind of like. Based on what Eugene said, like that's what it is. It seems like it's pretty
No,
obvious. You
I don't think it is because they're coming on the hour. Eugene has been able to time them. He says, well, this wave is going to be here in 2 hours and that wave's going to be here in an hour. They're coming
I think
at a
that
cycle.
might just be Eugene.
Might just
Like
be
his binoculars can see that it's going to take them
Well,
2
I mean,
hours.
because he can tell, how many clicks
off
out
the-
they
His
are. or
mediocre binoculars can.
whatever. They're not mediocre. They're pretty good binoculars. Either
They're
way,
still
he can tell.
binoculars.
I mean, if somebody can look through a scope and tell how many yards away a deer is,
Yards,
then surely
not miles.
he's not looking at miles. I mean, surely
Oh, horror! It's going to take something 2 hours.
just because they're moseying.
They walk like this.
That seems a little
I
unrealistic.
don't know. I think these hordes are part of they're calling in from the forest fire, like Eugene said, and that next episode when you see the hilltop, it's like them getting the same thing because they're coming in from all over with the big thing in the sky and they went towards it.
I don't
and
think
now
it
they're
is
converging.
because of what Judith says in the extended sneak peek, where she's talking to Michonne and
Yeah.
she says, "What if they're just trying to keep us busy and tire us out?" So then they
Except
have
that-
the advantage, but
yeah.
it's not the Whisperers.
And even,
it's a different big bad, and that's where they introduce
during
it.
the meeting during this episode, somebody mentioned that. I can't remember who
It was Carl.
Carol mentioned that.
She was like, maybe they're just trying to tire us out.
Yeah.
But Lydia's like, "Why would the Whisperers do that? They wouldn't do that. She'd send the whole horde. She
Just-
wanted you dead, you'd be dead."
Yeah. I think Alpha doesn't have control of the horde at the moment.
I don't think so either.
And I think she's like there won't be any bloodshed because they know I don't think the Whisperers are as a larger group as what's left of Kingdom, Hilltop, and Alexandria and Oceanside. They just have the dead on their side, which makes it seem like I don't know how many there really are.
And their last little group got disrupted because of
The
Gamma's little
satellite.
sister.
Yeah.
Well, Gamma's little sister
Sister.
doing the baby thing, and then everybody got attacked and stuff. So even the horde that they were trying to build is smaller.
Yeah.
They don't have a horde, you know.
But they
and
don't
so,
know that.
Right,
But
they
it
don't
does-
know that, but Alpha's not stupid. Why would she try to attack when she doesn't have anything?
Which is why
don't
she's
know.
playing it the way she's playing it.
Yeah, which is
Exactly.
she's doing guerrilla warfare right now. But to your point about it possibly being Alpha it does kind of make sense that it was all those waves were coming, and then it seems like the waves stopped when Gamma showed up, and it was like, all right, now you ready to talk?
No, because
And then they because they were outside, and maybe they weren't showing
Eugene
in between
had
or whatever.
just said it'll be 2 hours and then an hour for this side.
Mm-hmm.
Gamma comes up. They talk to Gamma, and then when Michonne is telling them where to go, she says, "Okay, Gabe's group will take the north. Aaron's will
Right.
break up the south before it gets here with Negan."
Mm-hmm.
Or she doesn't say Negan, Gabe does. And then she says, "We'll go meet at the border."
Right, but then when Gamma shows up, they all go into the chapel, and like there's nothing more to fight. Like they stop coming or something.
They probably had some people like out on the walls watching, but if they have an hour or 2 hours, nothing. They have time.
Exactly.
I don't know if you hear the cat. She's just meowing. She misses us. But yeah, I mean, afterwards they did go out and have to fight some more. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just had time to talk.
So I guess that builds my argument
You mean
that they're
drops
just
it?
that they're just the random walkers coming through because
They're
of the loud
not.
noise and everything.
The loud
I don't
noise
know. I
was
trust
on Alpha's
Eugene.
border.
Eugenius knows.
Eugenius doesn't even know when a girl doesn't like him, let alone all the science in the world.
Well, that's
Aw,
not
poor
science.
Eugene.
That's human.
Exactly. I said let alone.
Yeah.
If he don't know that, he don't
Poor
know
Eugene.
everything. Not poor Eugene.
Bro,
How many times you have to creep on
Right.
somebody having sex with somebody
Oh,
else?
how many times? Like they showed that once, like 3 seasons ago.
Yeah.
But to his,
Was that not enough? I
That
thought
was
when I
definitely-
said how many times,
yeah,
that one
I'm
time
not,
was enough.
I'm not defending Eugene's actions, although you're arguing like I am. I'm just saying I felt bad for Eugene because he had this moment of realization. Even Rosita was saying, "I'm sorry," and he was like, "No, you're right." You know, because what kind of friend am I? Because our entire relationship is predicated on the fact that I thought that one day you would like me, and he left. You know, and I respect him for that. But it is about time that he finally get that.
Exactly. That's why I'm not saying poor
Yeah.
Eugene. Poor
Right.
Eugene nothing.
He's about to die.
I'm just feeling bad because he's feeling bad, and I like Eugene. But I do feel bad for Rosita because, like, she's just like, what the heck, dude? Like, I thought we were friends, and he's like, not really, I'm sorry.
Rosita's like, even though you are the last man on the planet, it still ain't you. It's the apocalypse, and it's Siddiq, Gabriel, dead Abraham, and then you.
Yeah.
But it
Wow.
ain't you.
Did Abraham, then you.
Wow.
The pain
Dang.
in that.
I mean, it's real, though. I have no sympathy for Eugene right now, where it's like,
I just want to see them to get together because they're together in the comics. But I think maybe...
he gone.
She cheats
No,
on
I think
him.
Rosita's gone this season. I think she's gone this season because, I mean, Kristen Stratos already has another gig. I think by the mid-season, she's dead, and Eugene's going to take care of the baby.
With
He's
wet
going to
breast
step up
milk.
and be like, you know what?
He's gonna, during this time, he's gonna come up with an alternative breast milk solution aside from formula because he doesn't have access to formula, and he's gonna be able to take care of the baby on his own.
Yeah, because they're building Rosita up too much, and even that extended scene with Gabriel was like, you're literally the only one that can feed the baby. So
Well, I
Where
didn't
did she-
get to see that, so.
Where did she get that mine chainsaw?
what?
The weapon she had, it's not called, that's why I call it, but it has like an actual name. It's
Mayan chainsaw?
yeah, it's an ancient, like it's designed off of an ancient Mayan blade. It's just like wood, leather on top of the wood, and then it's supposed to be teeth, but those are obviously like pieces of metal in the on the side, and it's just you use it, and then like you can saw with it, or you can slash with it, or you can just use it to bust somebody on top of the head.
I
with
don't
it.
know. And then Barcode had like a halbert.
Yeah,
a
I'm like,
halberd.
what?
Which was also in the opening. If you noticed in the opening, there was like something burning up in the very beginning, and then the trees were on fire. So it seems like they're adding a little bit more every episode, which is pretty
Yeah.
cool. But like at the very beginning, when they showed the tree and it burst into birds or whatever, or no, the bird, it burst into life and the birds flew away. Off to the side, there was like that halberd.
Halberd?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, which I know from Spider-Man Far From Home. It's a halberd.
And then was the Rick scene in there before?
All season it has been. This
All season?
Yeah.
Okay. I just haven't been paying attention, I guess.
And then they got the little embers on the Walking Dead text at the end.
Okay. Did you find it? Okay.
It wasn't pulling like a current one up. I'm not hip with the new stuff. I normally have to Google it, so.
Y'all talk. I'll find it real fast.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't really have any sympathy for Eugene right now and his poor little achy breaky heart. I just don't have it in me. I don't know who they're gonna kill. I'm not really sold on Rosita dying.
Yeah.
I can see
Siddiq seems to be having some issues.
Yeah. I can see the plot device that it would have to give another man, another baby that's not theirs. Rick has Judith.
Well, now Michonne
Aaron
has
has
Judith.
Grace.
Yeah. Which we haven't seen her in a while.
Yeah.
And he's going down a dark path right now, so.
Yeah, his little scene with Negan.
Yeah, Aaron's a saint. And he's like, "Arr."
Yeah. The blind saint. Like, what?
Yeah. Which plays back to Gabriel.
Yeah. It was so weird and uncomfortable,
Yeah.
but I liked it at the same time. I didn't like how Aaron was speaking truth and being real with Negan, and then Negan got the upper hand just because of happenstance.
What do you mean? Can you go
When
into
Aaron
detail?
is like saying, you, if I let Eric down by him dying because I'm the man who was supposed to protect him, then you did the same thing to your wife. How can you sit here and say that to me? That's not okay. That's rude.
Well-
That's ugly. And then Negan only got the upper hand because the walkers were behind him. He was like, behind you. And they happened to be in that weed stuff that got in his eye. He has a thing
A mace.
for an arm.
Yeah.
He could have obliterated Negan with one punch and just
Yeah.
been like, why don't you shut your mouth?
Speaking of, I think he could have taken Merle too. Just the knife hand.
And so,
It's
whoa,
not that exactly,
yeah.
but
that is what she
so
had.
similar.
hers is a bit more modern, but that's an ancient one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like flat and it's got blades all around it.
Yeah. She was
But
just.
I mean, I just don't like how it ended because I don't like that Aaron keeps getting knocked on his butt. Like with him running out on the bridge, that was his own stupid choice.
Yeah. But I feel like Negan was trying, and I'm not saying Negan didn't deserve how Aaron was treating him, because he's definitely earned it, and Aaron hasn't had that one-on-one time with Negan to kind of resolve his issues, you know.
Yeah.
So, and which might be foreshadowing to how Maggie's going to deal with it when she gets back too. But
Oh yeah, I like to say, why don't you just leave?
yeah, because if things keep going as they're going, Negan's going to be like full citizen by the time she gets back.
Yeah.
But I do like the fact that they didn't just take it for granted that, okay, Negan's back now. Like he still has to prove himself.
Yep.
And I do like that what he said was going to happen did happen. He was like, hey, man, I really don't want to go out there. They're going to be all like, hey, man, look what you did. Look, you out here with us now. I'm mad. I'm tired. I'm going to beat you up. So I like that, like, he predicted that and stuff. Sorry, keep messing with my hat. My hair is just really bothering me today. I was going to say bugging, and I was going to say bothering, and it combined to bogging.
Toboggan.
I really liked how that played out,
Maybe
but
need a toboggan.
a sled? I'm just kidding. I know what a toboggan is.
Depends on where you're from if they call it that.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, while they're taking drinks,
Sorry.
it's all right.
Yeah.
So Negan, the whole Negan, Aaron interaction. Like, yeah, I don't know. I didn't feel like it was unnatural because you know he was like, all right, I'm taking you back, and he wasn't giving him any slack or whatever. And Negan kind of pushed back a little bit and was like, yeah, you know, I'm not gonna tie up like some prisoner of war, which is actually what he is in the first place.
But I get why he wouldn't want to do that in the dark, in the apocalypse, and have his hands tied.
I get that. Yeah.
I mean,
All
like
she could have
nobody
was
would want to do that.
I mean,
Yeah.
but did he tie him up on the way? I don't know.
I think it's because he wouldn't put the crowbar down.
Yeah,
But he did.
he did.
But he picked it back up and was like, "Hey, man, it saved my life. My stick broke."
Well,
Yeah.
because he had to reach for it in the moment, but I think Aaron was just looking for a reason.
Yeah, he was. Like the
But he
whole
told him
entire
to
time.
put it back down, and he didn't.
Well, he was trying. He was like, "Oh, come on!" And he ended up putting it back down. But after that run in with Aaron, getting tackled or whatever, he obviously picked it back up. But
Yeah.
and
I think he like left Aaron there just to see if he could, if he lives, he lives. If he doesn't, oh well.
yeah,
Just see
Which
if
I
he
don't
could.
like.
well,
He's still Negan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's still Negan. And I think it was important for them to show that. He hasn't changed. Otherwise, he would have tossed Aaron over on his shoulders, carried him all the way back to Alexandria. Negan
I don't
hasn't
know about
changed.
that.
I think he would. I think wait until
I think it was
daylight.
within the realm of. It's like, okay, he's still.
With-
He's not broken, but he's not a bad guy either.
He lied to Aaron.
How?
He was already in that house, sitting
He
there
didn't lie.
in the chair. And Aaron's like, "How did you see me?
Your light came on.
Your light came on."
Yeah.
He lied
Your
to
light
him.
came on.
He
Yeah.
was telling him that he found him because he heard the yelling and his light came on, and that's how he was able to locate him. He didn't tell him, "I was already in the house. I could have helped you the whole time."
Yeah.
He lied.
He did lie to him.
He is. Well, I was about to say he is Negan, but that's what you're
That's
saying.
my
Yeah.
argument. He is Negan. He hasn't changed that much.
Still Negan.
And I think that it was important for them to show that because
Yeah.
we haven't seen Negan
Yeah,
that
I
much.
mean, but I guess that still gives you the question. I was like, okay, well, he could still go back and forth. It's just enough.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just enough that further along in the plot, if he does something, if they send him to Alpha to try and whoop
He's
her
having
butt.
his fun with him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's going to be like, he's going to trick us. He's going to play both sides of the coin, and we're going to be like, classic Negan. He screwed us over. And then in the end, he's actually going to be on our side, which happens a lot. Movies and shows do
Yeah.
that all the time.
Yeah.
I could name some, but I don't have to. No, I'm just kidding. I couldn't name any right now.
I'm waiting to get Lucille back. That's all I'm waiting
I
on.
know. Like, he's got a new Lucille, basically.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, what did y'all think about?
I did like that interaction though.
Yeah, it was a really good interaction. It was my favorite part of the episode. What did y'all think of how Michonne was and how she's coming along?
For a second, whenever her and Siddiq were out there by the table, I thought she was going to kiss him. Because it was just like, Michonne, who do you
and
like
Ezekiel?
these days? I was so confused. Like, their
don't
interaction just seemed really calm and really comfortable with each other, which there's nothing wrong with that. But she isn't even like that chill with Daryl or anybody else. So
No,
like
she's
the
very chill with Daryl.
conversation, yeah, but not in. I don't know. It for a second I thought she might.
I don't know. The way I took it was that she was just like, "Hey man, how you doing?" Because he's kind of pushing back when people
I
are
did
checking
after
on
it
him.
ended. After I ended, I was like, "Oh, okay,
Oh.
she's just checking in on him. No big
okay.
deal." But in the moment watching it, I was like, "Is she gonna kiss him? This is weird."
Maybe you just wanted her to.
Ugh. I don't want anybody
Yeah.
to kiss Siddiq. He's a freak.
Siddiq the freak.
Exactly. He barely even takes care of his own baby.
Well, he's the head doctor running all the show, and Andy's having like,
PTSD
yeah,
issues.
PTSD.
Yeah. Super bad.
but I don't know. Like he refuses any help. Like even
That's why he's a freak.
Yeah.
I'm
even when
tossing around
Dante
that road,
was like
I don't
approaching
know
him,
what
you know, and
word
he was just
lightly.
like, like how dare you talk to me?
How dare you sit down and try and bring me alcohol that's obviously moonshine to take my mind off of things?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
really? In the apocalypse, y'all are really worried about moonshine?
He's like so stubborn. Stur- he's so thick-headed about it that like when they were trying to take the glass out of Carol's arm, he was just like, I'm just gonna risk
But he
messing
could
up her
kill
arm.
her.
Yeah.
And so
I don't know about kill her, but
She could have bled to death.
I
What,
mean,
he
I don't
stabbed
think it
an
was
artery.
yeah, he could have
Well,
like
he
got
could've
it up
stabbed
in there
it.
and like
Yeah.
nicked the artery, and it's like, whoops, now we have a whole new problem.
Now Carol and Aaron are going to relate on a whole other level. Because we have to cut her arm off. That's going to be a Carol
no
I
more
want to
bow
see.
and arrow for Carol.
No, yeah, this is the bow.
Yeah, she just had like a built-in crossbow, like Daryl.
Why would you have a crossbow, though? That'd be way
well,
too
because
hard.
her arm is like, I don't know. I don't know.
No.
Just either
Mine
way
was way
makes
better.
sense. Yeah.
I don't know. I felt like there was a lot of substance this episode in bits and little pieces that were easy to chew up. It wasn't too much. It was really well paced.
I do have
really
a question.
collective.
What do you make of Carol's vision where she was coming downstairs after she had slept, and it was Daryl that was the dad?
Oh yeah.
No, it wasn't Daryl that it was the dad.
When he pulled out cash, I was like, this ain't the apocalypse.
I was like,
When she said that about Jam, I was like, girl, what you doing? No, this ain't
"Say
real.
no jam."
I
Oh.
don't think that it
think
was
there's some at
meant
the
to
store.
insinuate that she cared to be in a relationship with Daryl, because the only reason Henry was there was to wake her up, was to take it to a nightmare. Henry wasn't sitting at the table to begin with. And so I don't think that he was like the dad figure. I think it just,
It
it would have been
relationship
awkward.
thing. Because he's making her
It's
breakfast.
where-
But it would have been weird if it was Ezekiel. It wasn't supposed to be gay. Like, who else would it have been? It
Well,
it
she
wouldn't
could have
have
just came
conveyed the
downstairs and
same
started
thing.
making breakfast. Ain't nobody
Yeah.
got to be there.
No, the $20 bill. What was she gonna do? Say out loud, I guess I'm gonna go to the grocery store for some jam because we don't have any. So let me get this $20 bill out of my purse.
I mean,
It
they
wouldn't
could
have
have
served
made
the
it
same
like,
purpose.
I don't know.
I think Daryl is where she feels most comfortable, cause like
And that's where it was a dream.
yeah. It was
Well,
just to
I'm
make
just
it-
I'm just trying to keep the dream alive.
No,
Carol and Daryl
Daryl
still.
and Connie,
still got
which
some,
makes Carol.
flame
It's
there.
fine. We're not dead inside. Yeah, I don't know.
Yep. So okay, we talked about the pills.
Pills, baby.
Wait,
Jean Ralphio.
How Michonne is handling it with her being the mom that never sleeps anyways, and little grown man Judith. You know, you're not supposed to sleep when there's danger around.
Make sure it's safe before you go to sleep. That's what you always said. Is it safe? You just
Yeah, she's like,
She's
so.
like, I'm trying to figure out if I can sleep now. I've been up as long as you.
Yeah, I was- and I'm like,
Sitting in this
dang.
dang chair the whole time.
Like, is RJ real? He does not moving.
He ain't sleeping like a baby
He's
sleep.
a mannequin.
He's sleeping like he is. Is he dead? Is she just keeping the body? Oh no.
Whole new level of terror.
The governor.
So, yeah, that was weird that he was sleeping so much. That's literally what I was about to say next.
Well, he's a kid taking naps.
I guess, but it was like daytime.
Yeah,
every
I guess.
now.
Yeah, Judith is. I was 48 hours, so it's 2 full days.
And
And Judith's all of like 10 just staring at the window. You know she got the revolver just like around the corner.
were no
ready to
other
do it.
adults there just in case. Michonne, you don't have a just in case after everything that's happened?
She do. It's called Grown Man Judith.
I guess that's right, but grown man Judith probably still has to move a chair over to get the jelly off the jam. I mean, either way,
That's
it
why it
seemed a
wasn't her in the
little.
dream.
Yeah, exactly. I can't reach this jam. I guess I'll go buy some more.
Henry? Oh.
Yeah.
All right. So, was there anything else in the episode, or do we need to wrap this part up?
Did we talk about whether we thought Alpha should have been shot? I feel like we vaguely touched on it, but I don't know if
I
we,
don't
like,
think she
fleshed it
should
out.
because I feel like it would have made things worse in that
It
moment.
would have made things way worse.
Yeah, but Carol did just make them worse. She killed a whisperer.
Well, that was I mean, that was an accident.
I feel
Her
like
But I mean, it would have been
booty.
immediately worse. Like right now, yes, some people are probably gonna die, but in that moment, people like almost everybody could have died.
And can we talk about for a second how Carol walked literally right into a trap?
I know.
Super right into a trap. She was.
The whispers are
Yeah.
setting traps now. Like when was that a thing?
That's why I
don't
think
know.
this one whisper
I
was
thought
a
that was-
rogue whisper.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was part of a dream because when Daryl and Michonne and them came in, there were whispers all around, but they were kind of like the angle is like almost like they were not. It was hard to tell unless you were looking for them or something.
Wait, what?
The angle when Daryl and Michonne and them came in looking for Carol, it they didn't make it obvious that the whisper. As far as I could tell, they didn't make it obvious that she was still surrounded by whispers. But he did say she fell and cut her arm. But
She wasn't surrounded by whispers.
I'm sorry, not whispers, walkers. But I didn't.
That's a vital mess up.
That might have been something that I missed when I was watching the episode. But it didn't seem like she was surrounded by bodies. But she might have been. You know what I mean? I don't remember. It's still kind of hazy, that part, because I only watched it that once. But
I think she hallucinated killing more than what she actually did.
Because that's a lot of bodies. And if you think about how far out they were, like, laying, there's no way she would have been able to reach them all.
I know. And what made me think also that it was a hallucination, even the trap, because Daryl and Carol, or not Carol, but Michonne didn't go like, what the heck is this? You know, why is there a trap, you know, or whatever. And they just kind of glossed over that, you know.
Yeah.
But
And maybe
how
that was
else
just
would
a
Carol
story
have
element.
how else would the one whisperer have gotten away? Carol wouldn't have let that live.
Yeah.
So I think
I mean,
I think
yeah.
it was a trap.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, it was a weird setup, and I'll have to go back and watch it. But yeah, if you guys have comments about that, let us know down below, and you know, tweet us or whatever. But yeah, help us figure that out. Like, there was definitely some play going along to kind of skirt over some things and make you not notice certain things.
Mm-hmm.
definitely
So,
a lot of
keep you
things to
guessing.
look back on to see how much of an unreliable narrator Carol was.
Yeah.
Super unreliable.
But I did like that the one whisperer being in the gym or wherever she was at when she got into the trap confirmed that the other whispers had been around the camp, and when she shot at them, that was real because the one whisperer was
Yeah.
there.
And
I felt like it was meant to confirm that.
Daryl didn't even blink when she asked him too. He's like, "Yeah, I believe you."
What? He definitely paused.
Did he?
Yeah.
It was a slight pause, yeah. He did pause.
Okay. And that's when it went and showed. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, could that have just been a dream sequence and they didn't allude to it? I don't know.
If that was a dream
Bum, bum, bum.
sequence, I can't believe anything I watch on that show
Yeah.
anymore.
Or anything ever.
Yeah.
Is my
I
life
mean-
even real? I'm in the Matrix.
With the thing where Carol actually saw Alpha at the end of last episode or the first episode, I'm thinking this is real because they're not going that deep into
Yeah.
hallucinations.
I mean, it's only to propel the micro story of Carol's
That was
sanity.
the other thing. When they were at the border, Alpha said y'all crossed 3 times. She didn't mention the time that like her and Carol just stared at each other across a canyon.
Yeah.
Because
So-
technically that's their border.
Oh, okay.
Right. Well, I'm saying.
No, I mean that was the same time that they were over there for the satellite. So I guess it was.
Okay, I guess she's counted as one.
But to count it as one, definitely, like, she could have counted it as a fourth. Like, no, you didn't just come over there for that. You also came a snooping.
Yeah.
So she could have pushed it into a fourth and started a war. So
Yeah.
she's definitely playing the long game of, like, I know I don't have enough people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it does beg the question is why she didn't address that and already make a big deal out of Carol and be like, and you know what I mean? But Carol started that instead of
Because I
Alpha.
think she I mean, she made it a point that she knows that she was Henry's mother, and she kind of could feel that, like, you know, you have Lydia, I took Henry, but I was taking Henry to hurt Lydia, but I also hurt you. So mother to mother, deep down, I'm kind of sorry, but not really.
Yeah.
But now that makes me kind of question the scene where they were at the canyon with the horde, because Daryl didn't say oh, well, the last time I was down at the canyon, there weren't any walkers.
I know, right?
He
You'd think
said
that would
tens
play
of
into.
thousands.
You'd think that would play into it. That would matter.
Yeah.
Is that you think
Like,
that's
he didn't
just
even
a mess up?
mention that.
You think that's just a mess up, a slip up?
I think he's doing it on purpose because he doesn't want. Because
War.
he's
He doesn't wanna fight.
He doesn't want to fight this war, and like he wants them gone, but he doesn't want everyone to just like gear up and go out there and like he be wrong. Like she could have just moved her.
Yeah,
and he
that's
doesn't know
true.
for sure. So he
But
doesn't
you
wanna-
think that would be a big deal? He'd come back and be like, "Hey, they're not there anymore. What is going on?"
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Oh, that's weird. I feel like there's going to be a lot explored in this season.
I think he at least told Michonne, but Michonne's like, "Well, you keep it to yourself until we know for sure that they don't have the horde."
Yeah, I would like to see that interchange, like what happened, why that's not being mentioned.
Yeah, because, I mean, they didn't even go back and were like, oh, for sure, we saw Alpha. They
Yeah.
didn't even say anything.
Yeah, you're like they're definitely here, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big deal. I think, yeah, absolutely, that should have been addressed at some point.
Yeah,
Because,
even a little.
yeah, I mean, if I was a council member and then somebody's like, "Oh yeah, by the way, 3 months ago I was at the thing and they weren't even there," was you
The
what?
same day as
You know?
the same day that satellite came down and that there was that fire and we went over there and got it, I definitely saw Alpha in the woods.
Mhm.
Like, that's important. And that
Super
was,
important.
you literally could have covered that in the next episode in the first 2.5 minutes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe that didn't happen, but it seemed like when it showed episode 2, Alpha's side of things, that it did happen because it showed from her point of view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But she's an unreliable narrator, too.
yeah, but
Maybe. Yeah.
unless they're having like a group dream, I don't see how that's.
It's not lost. Get out of here.
Yeah.
This is getting weird.
Yep. So that's it for this episode. Next on The Walking Dead, episode 4 is called Silence the Whisperers, which is kind of like the tagline for this whole season. So maybe this is going to be like, we were hoping that, well, this episode did kind of kick things off and culminate, but nobody died.
No.
So maybe this one is going to be like, or maybe we're just going to have more tension built. But hopefully this will be the episode that makes worthy the tagline Silence the Whisperers, where the tide turns or whatever. So the description is, excuse me, let me get my movie voice on. Still paranoid Alexandrians get right. Blah, blah. I'm sorry.
Yep.
I'm not Quin. I'm not even going to try. Still paranoid Alexandrians get riled up over the Whisperers and they take their fear out on Negan. At Hilltop, the group deals with an unexpected safety issue.
Huh.
Which is definitely walkers.
Do you think that? Well, I mean, they're obviously a safety issue, but
Well, I'm saying like the
What's-
same type of groups that seemed like they were coming at them. Hilltop isn't quite defended for that type of constant walker
well, I mean,
type thing.
Hilltop's got big log walls.
Log walls?
Long wall. Log walls? Are they log walls?
No,
they're
they're
like
metal.
No, because remember when they were standing up on top of them, they were like shaved into a point, and they were wooden pikes, kind of not pikes, but I mean they're like
Alexandria
trees up on
has-
end, you know.
I don't know
Alexandria
anymore.
has metal walls.
Yeah.
The Hilltop does have wood walls.
Yeah, it's like a log cabin looking thing,
Yeah.
only standing up straight instead of sideways.
And they got that like second part that when you have the farm and you have a
Oh
wall.
yeah, and
you
then
have
the little fence.
Yep.
Yeah. And it
So-
even this episode looked like Alexandria. They had kind of made like an exterior wall beyond the main wall.
And they have a little secret get out hole.
What?
Hidey hole.
How they got out from under the wall?
Oh.
Remember how Henry and
Right.
like
Carl
Abigail
and
or Addie or something?
Oh but Alexandria has that too. Remember how they got out with Carl?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I mean, yeah, you're right, like unexpected safety issue. I think they're revealing that the hordes that are coming are being sent by someone else.
I don't think that's necessarily I wouldn't describe that
Uh,
as a safety issue, an unexpected safety issue.
Maybe the hordes aren't getting sent by somebody else, but sent by an after effect that somebody else is doing. They might be like clearing out a whole bunch of zombies and like forcing them to leave somehow.
Maybe. I really don't know. Kind of taking this episode at a time.
They're getting riled up though. So
Poor Negan.
okay, so we're gonna be at so from the teaser, it looked like we're transitioning to Hilltop, like traveling to Hilltop, but it seems like we're still gonna be hanging out at Alexandria some, because it says they take the fear out on Negan, and that seems to be one of the main points of the description here. Although in the teaser we do see a lot of Hilltop, so I guess it looks like they're splitting between.
They probably left Negan alone with Aaron again.
Yeah, except they're buddies now. So
Definitely not.
Buddies.
Right. Blind leading the blind.
yeah, just an uneasy trust, kind of like him and Gabriel. It's like peanut butter meat jelly. So maybe that's foreshadowing. It's like they're gonna be like just badass duos, buddies, you know.
But they secretly hate each other. That'll be fun.
Anything else on that?
I think.
Where do you
not.
think it's going?
I think it's heading to a twist on how it ends in the comics. Super hard twist. But ultimately the same place. Because they somehow ultimately get there. Whether it be a line change or just things happening out of order. I think we're still going to
'cause
have...
there's so many missing elements right now. You
Yeah.
got Carl and Rick. And
Poor Carl. Yeah, Carl, Rick, Angela, but she's been dead for a while. Michonne's still here. Daryl's not a thing.
yeah,
And Tyrese.
yeah, poor Tyrese.
Poor Tyrese.
Who's basically Daryl.
Daryl, yeah. So we'll see where it ends up. It hopefully will end up with Negan taking Alpha's head with her machete.
Yeah. And let's see, Michonne has Andrea's, and then Carol has Michonne's story, basically.
But Michonne might be getting some of her own story back because she's about to start kissing Ezekiel. So.
Yeah. So a lot of remix going on.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. All right.
All right. So thanks for joining us. We hope you'll join us again next week live on YouTube, Sunday, 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. And please like, subscribe, and hit the little bell icon.
Ding.
So that you know when we drop a new video. And podcast listeners, please leave us 5 stars in your podcast app. And don't forget to check out the website at www.broken.picturesno.com. And don't forget to catch the FOMO Show on Tuesday mornings, 10 a.m. here on YouTube, Central Standard Time. This is Dylan.
And I'm Lydia.
This is Quin.
And we'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye.